Hello and welcome to Bible Podlets. I'm Elton.
And I'm Kiki. It's great to be here and we're so happy that you've joined us.
Bible Podlets is a Bible study and discussion podcast for all ages, which can be done at home or in children's groups at church.
We encourage you to listen together, to pause the episode if you can, and talk about the stories and questions that will come up. And all the activity and discussion questions for this and all of our episodes can be downloaded from the resources area of our website, bdeducation.org.uk.
Hey Kiki, what are you up to?
Well, I'm just looking at a map. I'm going on a trip tomorrow, so I want to be sure that I can set off in the right direction.
Oh, I see. Have you ever been going somewhere and have gone in the wrong direction then?
Well, I have actually. Do you know, I once got on a train that I thought was coming to Blackburn and accidentally ended up in Liverpool.
Oh no, you don't want to be making that mistake again.
I know. Do you know there's someone in our Bible story today who went in the wrong direction?
Ah, I wonder who that is. But hang on, don't we have a game first?
Oh yes, I almost forgot. Because our story is about someone who went in the opposite direction to where they should have been going, I thought we'd play an opposites game. So I'll say a word and you have to tell me a word that means the opposite. So for example, if I say hot, you would say cold. And we'll keep going and see how many you get right.
Okay, let's have a go. And I'm sure you can play along too at home or in your children's group if you would like to.
Okay, off we go. So first word, happy.
Sad.
Wet.
Dry.
Fast.
Slow.
Clean.
Dirty.
Full.
Empty.
Open.
Closed.
Strong.
Weak.
Difficult.
Easy.
Deep.
Shallow.
Yeah, I nearly caught you then.
Nearly got me.
Dangerous.
Safe.
Yeah. Cheap.
Expensive.
Yeah. Generous.
Stingy.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I had selfish, but we'll go with stingy. What about sweet?
Savoury.
Oh, I had sour, but I'll give you savoury.
Okay, yeah. And I'd see where you would get that.
Funny.
Sad.
I'm going to say no. You're not having that one. I got
No.
serious.
Serious.
Funny.
Okay.
Straight.
Curvy.
Yeah. Narrow.
Wide.
Loose.
Tight.
Accept.
I don't know. My brain has gone blank.
So the opposite of accept is refuse.
Oh, of course it is.
Yeah. Two more. Finish.
Start.
Yeah. Depart.
Embark.
Or arrive.
Or arrive. No, embark the same, isn't it?
You got out of a maximum of 20, you got 17.
That's
Pretty
all right.
good. I think that was a very, very acceptable score.
Well, that was good fun. But now I'm really curious to see who went opposite way in our Bible story today.
Me too.
Well, let's listen to our new story and find out.
I'm Ava, and I guess I'm near Nineveh or whatever. I have to talk to some guy called Joe Nah about something, but I don't see the point. I've never ever heard of him before. Excuse me, do you know Joe? Nah.
Yeah, that's me. What do you want?
I'm on work experience at that news place and they want me to speak to you about what happened in Nineveh or whatever.
Do you mean Nineveh?
Yeah, that's what I said. So, like, what happened then?
Well, it all started when God told me to go and visit Nineveh and preach against them.
Don't Nineveh do, like, bad stuff?
Bad? Try downright evil. Do you know what they do to their enemies? They get swords and they, to anyone they capture.
Not gonna lie, that sounds horrible, Joe.
That's Jonah.
Whatever.
Anyway, I did not want to go to Nineveh because I knew God was loving and kind and he'd forgive them in a heartbeat if they said they were sorry and turned away from their evil behaviour. In my eyes, they didn't deserve to have a chance to be saved. So I set off in the opposite direction to Tarshish.
What?
Are you not meant to ask me another question?
Ugh, fine. What did you do next?
Well, when we were sailing, God sent a massive storm. So big we all thought we were going to drown. But I realised it was only happening because I disobeyed what God had asked me to do. I convinced the sailors to throw me overboard so they could be safe. And eventually, they did. God then sent a huge fish to come and swallow me up. So I was safe from drowning.
Ew, I thought you smelled real bad. Like, dude, seriously, get some spray on or something. How did you, get out the fish then?
Well, I just prayed to God and he answered. After 3 days and nights in the fish, it vomited me up on the shore. And I agreed to go to Nineveh and preach to them. When I reached the city, I went to the centre and told them God was angry and he would destroy them. Then I left and went up the hill to see what God would do.
But they ain't destroyed.
I know. God decided to forgive them. So unfair. Wish I'd never been born.
That is so unfair. Ugh.
Oh.
What a roller coaster of a story there. We're going to talk together about what we've heard and we're going to ask some questions. And we'd encourage you to pause the podcast if you can and talk about your answers together.
Now, Jonah was a prophet. Do you remember from our last episode what a prophet is? A prophet is someone who shares God's messages with people.
In this instance, God wanted Jonah to go to the city of Nineveh and tell them to stop doing the things that they were doing and to say sorry, because they were doing really, really bad things.
They went out of their way to bully and hurt everyone they didn't agree with. Nowadays, you might compare them to terrorists. But when Jonah went to travel, he got on a boat that was going in the complete opposite direction to Nineveh.
We've come to our first question for today. Why did Jonah want to avoid going to Nineveh? The question again, why did Jonah want to avoid going to Nineveh? Please pause the podcast and talk about this together, and then press play when you're ready to carry on.
Nineveh were sworn enemies of Israel, and Jonah may have been scared to go there because of their horrible reputation.
But we know that Jonah also didn't want to go to Nineveh because he was afraid that God would forgive the people there and not destroy them.
Jonah hated the Ninevites so much that he wanted to see them punished by God instead of being given the chance to turn away from their evil behaviour.
So Jonah tried to avoid Nineveh by travelling in the opposite direction, to Tarshish by boat. Whilst he was sailing away, God sent a mighty storm.
The sailors, who had probably seen a fair few storms before, were terrified and tried everything they could to save themselves, but nothing helped. They eventually found out that Jonah was responsible for the storm and was putting them in danger. Jonah confessed that God had told him to go to Nineveh, but he didn't want to go.
So we've come to our next question for today. What did Jonah suggest the sailors do to save themselves from the storm? The question again, what did Jonah suggest the sailors do to save themselves from the storm? Please pause the podcast and talk about this together, and then press play when you're ready to carry on.
Jonah knew they were all in danger because he tried to run away from God. So he suggested that the sailors throw him overboard into the ocean.
But the sailors didn't want to throw Jonah overboard, so they tried again to row back to the shore. But God made the storm even worse.
With no other option, the sailors eventually threw Jonah into the sea, just as he suggested.
Here's our next question for today. What happened after Jonah was thrown into the sea? The question again, what happened after Jonah was thrown into the sea? Please pause the podcast and talk about this together. Then press play when you're ready to carry on.
When the sailors threw Jonah overboard, the storm stopped immediately, and the sailors were safe. They were so thankful they worshipped God in the boat.
And as for Jonah, God sent a large fish to come and swallow him so that he wouldn't drown. Jonah stayed inside the belly of the fish for 3 days and 3 nights.
You could say he had a whale of a time.
Oh, that was awful, Elton. Jonah prayed, asking God to help him, and then God made the fish vomit Jonah out onto dry land.
God then told Jonah again to go to Nineveh so he could tell the people to turn away from their evil ways. And this time, Jonah obeyed and went to Nineveh.
Jonah went into the center of the city and told the Ninevites what God had asked him to say.
We've arrived at our next question. How did the people in Nineveh respond to Jonah's message? The question again, how did the people in Nineveh respond to Jonah's message? Please pause the podcast and talk about this together. Then press play when you're ready to carry on.
The people believed Jonah straight away and said sorry to God. They even wore sackcloths and stopped eating or drinking to prove to God that they were serious. And even the king of Nineveh joined in.
God saw that the Ninevites were genuinely sorry for how they had behaved and decided to forgive them.
Meanwhile, Jonah was watching Nineveh to see what would happen from a hill outside the city.
We've come to our last question. How did Jonah react when he saw God had forgiven the Ninevites? The question again, how did Jonah react when he saw God had forgiven the Ninevites? Please pause the podcast and talk about this together. Then press play when you're ready to carry on.
Jonah threw a massive strop. He was so angry. He was so upset. He wanted to just give up.
You see, Jonah thought he knew better than God and could decide who was worthy enough to receive forgiveness. He believed that the Ninevites were so bad they did not deserve the chance to change.
But God's forgiveness is available to all types of people, even the wicked. And that's what the story of Jonah teaches us. And even though Jonah's attitude was bad, God still used him to help save the people of Nineveh, because God cares about all of his creation.
God wants all people to be saved, no matter what they've done in the past, and we should be careful not to judge others for what they've done before, and be willing to share God's good news with them so they have a chance to say sorry as well.
Do you have the right attitude towards the things God asks you to do? Or are you a little bit like Jonah and sometimes think you know best? If you are, then pray and ask God to help you to see the world in the way that He does, so that you can do the things He asks you to do with a good attitude. And if you're not sure how to do that, then ask your adult to help you.
For our bit of fun to finish Bible Podlets today, we thought we'd bring back an old favourite. Would you rather?
Oh, I love this game. It's really fun. I guess, if you think about it, Jonah played Would You Rather in our story today. He decided he'd rather run away to Tarshish than go to Nineveh.
Yeah, that's right. So, if you don't know how to play, here are the rules. I will give you 2 suggestions of things to do or have, and you need to decide which one of the options you'd rather do. If you want to play the game along at home, you can either guess which things Kiki will choose, or you could pause the podcast after each choice and decide for yourselves which you would do.
Okay, I'm ready for my first choice, Elton.
Okay. Would you rather skip everywhere or run everywhere?
I think I'm going to say skip. Because if you were just like running all the time, everywhere, you're just going to be out of puff, aren't you? And skipping just feels a bit more happy. So I'm going to say skip.
Skipping is quite happy, isn't it? You can run if you're scared, but you can't skip if you're scared.
No.
Okay. I think I agree with your choice.
Oh, good.
Although I'm not very good at skipping.
Well, you'd soon learn if you were having to do it all the time.
I would soon learn. You are right. Okay. Would you rather always talk in rhymes or sing everything?
Oh, that's a tough one because I think either way, you're going to annoy everybody. I think I'm going to go with the singing, though.
Interesting.
Yeah, because I think probably out of the two, I'd start to annoy myself with the rhyming thing, whereas although other people might get annoyed with the singing, I probably quite enjoy it. So I'm going to go singing. What do you choose?
I think I would go for the rhyming because I quite like rhyming.
But then what would you do if you couldn't find a word that rhymed? You might not be able to say what you wanted to.
I would just have to not say any words that don't rhyme with anything, like orange. Okay. Would you rather sneeze cheese or have chocolate flavoured tears?
I think I'm going to go chocolate tears because I do really like cheese. Therefore, if it was coming out of my nose, it might ruin my love of cheese. And I think probably if you cried chocolate milk, then if you ended up licking a bit off your cheek, that wouldn't be too gross.
It would make you happy again, I suppose, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Cheer you up, having a little cry, lick the chocolate tears, everything's better.
All right. Good. Okay. Kiki, would you rather have a pig's nose or an elephant's ears?
Oh gosh, that's a really tough choice. I don't think you're going to look good either way, are you? I feel like the ears might get in the way, but then they might be handy at times, like on a hot day. They could just kind of fan you a bit, or... I think if I had the pig's nose, I'd be worried I'd end up looking like Miss Piggy from the Muppets. Because I've got blonde hair. I'm going to go elephant's ears, just because I think, although you're going to look a bit odd, they might just be useful for like wafting flies and keeping cool.
I think
Very
that's...
practical.
You may also get the ability to fly.
Like Dumbo.
Like Dumbo. Who knows?
We definitely made the right choice there, I think, then.
I think so, yeah. You've made good choices, I think, there.
Yeah. I feel quite content with what I went for there. That was a good game. I do like Would You Rather.
It's a favourite here. Now, I wonder whoever you are listening at home, which of my Would You Rather suggestions you chose. And how many opposites did you manage to match up at the beginning of our episode? Did you get any more than 17? You can let us know via our social media accounts. We're on Facebook at BDBE Updates and on Twitter at BDB of E.
And you can find all of our previous episodes of Bible Podlets and free discussion notes for each of those to use in children's groups at church on our website, bdeducation.org.uk.
Well, that's all from us for this episode, but we hope to see you again next time. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Bible Podlets. It was a Blackburn Diocese Board of Education production. It was written by David Harris and Sarah Earnshaw and produced by David Harris. It was voiced by Sarah Earnshaw, Lindsay Wright and David Harris, with additional voices by Stephen Whittaker. Bible Podlets is a free resource. For more resources, connect with us on social media, on Facebook at BDBE Updates, on Twitter at BDBOV, or on our website bdeducation.org.uk.